What up, Eagle Talk fam? I am so excited about our podcast today because I have a special guest, Tiffany.
Hey, I'm so excited to be here.
Look, so excited. But before we get into it, y'all, first of all, I have to acknowledge my husband he's just so cool. He letting the ladies do their thing last couple weeks, and I'm so excited for that. But we will be back next week, and the episode that we're really going to talk about is YOLO. You only live once, but it's a different spin. But today, I get to have my homegirl, Instagram friend turned real friend, Tiffany, about doing it scared.
Yes, that stuff happens in real life. Instagram friends turned real friends.
Well, but before we talk about just your journey with your new business and everything that you got going on, how we got acquainted, tell the folks a little bit about yourself.
Yes. Well, hey, Eagles. Are your people Eagles?
They're Eagles.
Hey, Eagles.
It's our people, girl.
Yes, our people.
Yeah.
Hey, Eagles. My name is Tiffany Hedgemon, and I am a mother, a wife, a daughter, a sister, a friend. Those don't pay the bills though. So what I do for work, I am a lot of those things too.
Yes.
A flight attendant instructor, a realtor, and a professional home organizer.
Yes. So, well, funny thing is I just told somebody there is a young man. His name's Tariq. Tariq, I'm going to shout you out because you said you was going to start listening to the podcast. But Tariq is someone who, kind of sort of acquainted. I was acquainted with him, with his family in Chicago. And when I first started teaching, I did a mock lesson in his classroom. That's a whole lot of information. He's now 28.
Oh, he's grown.
Yeah. And he was in third grade when I did that mock lesson. So that just shows you that we're getting older. But he's got a job with Southwest.
Oh,
yes.
And Tariq.
Yes. And he's starting training. And when he told me, I was like, oh my God, my friend Tiffany is an instructor with Southwest.
Yes.
So,
how exciting.
So you might see him.
Congratulations. Welcome to the family, Tariq.
Yes. Welcome to the family, homie. So Tiffany and I, like we said, we became acquainted. I actually think it might have been Clubhouse first when Shalina and I used to do it.
That was it.
And you and Shalina were at the same brokerage. So you've coached with her for your real estate career. And then we just kind of started seeing each other, right?
Right.
And I would see you were doing like reels or TikToks. And I was like, she is so pretty. And just started commenting on your stuff and just got to know you that way. And then lo and behold, one day you sent me, I don't even know how you got my phone number. Like, because you sent me a text message. It wasn't, or was
I
it
did.
through
I reached out to
Instagram?
Shalina and asked for your number from Shalina.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
It was.
Okay. So you sent me a text message and it was on one of those days where, y'all, I don't know about you. Have you ever just been like, you doing stuff and you just kind of driving like, Lord, like, what am I doing? Like, I need to go and sit down somewhere and just mind my business. Like
every other day.
Right. Like, what am I doing? Like, why? Like, I was literally driving on my way to get my hair done, contemplating my purpose in life and just feeling like I was failing at everything and I just wasn't great. And then this beautiful girl sent me a video message and it just blew my mind. So let's talk about that.
Yeah. So like you said, Clubhouse is how I first heard Rosemary's story and heard you speak. And then from there, I followed you on Instagram. So started following you on Instagram. And that's when the Do It Scared started popping up on my feed. Just seeing Rosemary talking about doing it scared, encouraging others to do it scared, and just sharing your story. And I had been thinking about pursuing a passion of mine for a while. And that was with home organizing. But I was scared. In that I had shared that with a few people and they said, oh, nobody wants somebody to come in their house and organize it for them.
I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay. Or I shared it with others and they say, you're trying something else again. And it was just, I was hearing all this negative noise and the static. And so I didn't want to pursue it because I was scared. But there was one day where one of your videos came up about doing it scared and that faith that you have to fall back on. Mm-hmm. And that was the trigger for me. And I said, you know what, I'm doing this. And in doing it, I also wanted to acknowledge the person who, even though you may feel you were the intercessor for God, right? To share that message with me. But I wanted to thank you for that push. And so I reached out to Shalina, asked for your number, and I just did that video scared too, because I thought I was shooting my shot, basically.
Right, because your number wasn't in my phone. So I appreciated you sending the video.
Yeah, it's because I thought if I just text you a bunch of words, you'll get the same message, but you can't put a face to the message.
It was everything.
And so I did it scared, and I'll tell you how scared I was. I had just walked out of Target. It was about 9 in the morning. It was early in the morning. No makeup. I don't think my hair was combed for real. I was looking rough, and I said, but if I don't do this now, I'm not going to do it. Yeah. So I did that scared, sending you the video.
Oh, I loved it. And I think I responded with the video okay, you don't even know, but I mean, this is I was just saying God, what am I doing in my life? And you sent this to me. And it was everything. And then from there, we went to coffee or tea or something like that. And I remember going into the restaurant, where we met. And I was like, oh my God, you are stunning. Absolutely. So y'all, Tiffany is have you ever modeled?
Oh, no.
Really?
Not in real. Well, I'll tell you, that's a funny story. Okay. So when I was 14, 15 is when Stonebriar Mall first opened in Frisco.
Okay.
So Stonebriar was built, and I was with my mom and my sister. We're walking through the mall, and at Macy's, they had this table, and they said, oh, Macy's is just opening. We're looking for young girls to model in our runway show. And so my mom said, Tiffany, sign up. So I signed up, and I got selected for the show. What I did not know was that when you do this runway stuff, they have a section all of your outfits that you're going to wear. And you go out in one outfit, you come back, and these people you don't know
are touching you,
taking your clothes off. And I was 14. It just didn't feel right. And so that was it for me.
You was like, that was it. Listen, I'm not going to say you missed your calling, because I firmly believe that what you're doing now is blessing people, i.e. me. It blessed me, blessed my whole life when she came over here, and I'll tell y'all about that later. But you for sure could model to me. Tiffany, you have the height, the bone structure. You could rock any hairstyle, personality. Just saying. Can you smize?
Can I? Oh, I try. Am I smizing?
I think you got a boo-boo. That's what when I try to smile, it does. Y'all, look, if you're listening to the podcast, you couldn't see Tiffany. Just trust me, she real pretty. But it's so funny because we actually just shot a video with Shalina, who we're referring to, and Tanisha Lusky. We talk about how you just try to be other people. We can get caught in imposter syndrome. And I remember when I first started doing branding and photo shoots for my business, I would tell my photographer, who's a good friend, I just want to just kind of look at the camera. So he girl, shut up and smile that. You're that is not you. Yes. Right. So when I smile, I look like I got a boo-boo. I look constipated.
Me too. I probably just did.
Yeah. Anyway. But okay. So let's talk about what Doing It Scared has looked like, because you have started your business, which is called Spacelift.
It is.
I loved it when you heard. And it's so funny because I remember when we sat down for that coffee meeting, and you shared with me that story that, you shared your desire with someone that you love, and someone who loves you, right? That wants what's best for you. This is not this wasn't a hater in your life.
Oh, yeah.
But because what you were offering wasn't a pain point for them, they gave you honest feedback, but it was feedback from their perspective. And I remember saying oh my God, you should see my pantry. I would love so it was totally different. So I think that's one thing, when we have a dream or desire, I see a lot of times in myself and other people, when we share it with somebody and it's not received in the same way, that can be a stopping point for us. So
absolutely.
What did that feel like for you, and how did you push past that point?
Yeah, it was initially a stopping point for me, for sure. And that's where your messages of do it scared, just do it, regardless of what you hear, what you may see, go for it. And what I really got from that is in doing it scared, a lot of times you're doing it for the person who isn't commenting on things that you're doing, the person that you haven't even crossed paths with.
Yeah.
Right. Not only am I doing this for myself, but I'm doing it for those who I can impact that we haven't made that connection just yet.
Yeah.
But if I go ahead and do it scared, so anything, you know, that you want to do and want to pursue, and if you have that negative energy coming at you, if you still go ahead and do it scared, I feel that whatever you do scared, if no one's going to get hurt as a result of it, then do it, right?
Yeah.
So those who are telling you negative things, the worst thing that could happen to them by you doing it scared is nothing negative, right? They just see that, oh, wow, this really did work. And it happened.
Or they can be like, oh, no, or I was right.
Exactly.
You know,
if either way.
Whatever.
Exactly. So no harm, no foul to them. The only person you're possibly hurting is that person who, by you doing it scared, you really could impact their life and change their life. And you're hurting them if you just keep this to yourself, you don't go for it. And like those who I've been able to bless with, taking a stressor and an overwhelm out of their home.
Yeah.
I would have never had that opportunity.
Yeah, it's a game changer.
To do it for them.
It's a game changer. So the whole do it scared movement, you know, just thought process really came from when I was transitioning. It wasn't even when I was transitioning into real estate, but I was leaving my real estate team. And it was just my team. Now, don't get me wrong. I learned a lot from them. Like, I was definitely someone who benefited from joining a team first, but it became a crutch, right? It became a safety net. And I knew that I had outgrown the opportunity, but you know, I felt like I needed the backing of this situation in order to be successful. And I remember telling my husband, like, I just don't, you know, he's like, well, sometimes you gotta, I was like, I'm scared. He's like, well, sometimes you just got to do it scared. And I think a lot of times in life, just giving some context for some of y'all who are like, what do y'all mean do it scared? Sometimes in life, we wait for the right moment. Right? We wait for all our bills to be paid before we go on vacation. Or, I mean, I ain't telling you to do it stupid. Pay your bills. But I'm just saying, like, I have definitely been in Vegas sometimes and I'm happy I went. Or we wait until like once I lose all my weight, I'm gonna do my photo shoot for my birthday. Or once this kid grows up, I'm going to go back to school, or I'm gonna it's always going to be something. And a lot of times, especially when we're approaching something new, there's a fear around the unknown. And too often that fear is a stopping point. We listen to other people's feedback and we allow them to put their fears and their apprehension on us. And the exact opposite is when God gives you something to do. Sometimes you just got to go, and you might be scared, but you have to do it anyway.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And on that, it's, fear it's a real thing, and you can still have faith and feel that fear and be scared in the things that you do. But I think that it's having that faith that is what kind of makes or breaks the do it scared. Because there are things that I have tried to do scared that I've started doing, but it was, okay, God, I'm coming to you. I want to do this. And if you'll see me through this, I'll do it. Right. Yeah. And you start and you hit those roadblocks, you hit growing pains, all those things. And rather than pushing and keeping that faith, when I took those as, oh, okay, God, you're telling me I don't need to do this and I just need to stop. It was my lack of faith that kept me from continuing
from pushing. And I say this, and I just said it. It's definitely a difference between doing it scared and doing it stupid or doing it uninformed or all that. Mm-hmm. And you just made a good key. It's the faith piece, right? And I know that there have certainly been times where, especially like people think, they laugh when I tell them this, but naturally I'm risk averse. Like naturally, like for the longest, look, I live in weave now. I wouldn't wear weave. I wouldn't wear color on my nails. I wouldn't wear color lipstick. Like I've always been
that person.
I know, right? I was always me in a firecracker, but I was just not. I always wanted to play it safe. And there have certainly, I just bring it up because there have certainly been times where like my safeguards have been smart for me, right? But what I've noticed is when God is calling me out, the faith piece comes in and I'm able to discern. The more I spend time with God, the more I get to know more about him, then I can clearly distinguish between what's me being scared because this is not what God is calling me to do, or I'm scared because this is something new that he's calling me to. It's a big difference. I will say that I do think a lot of times I've definitely been guilty of going against my better judgment, never consulting God, just jumping out the window. What we're talking about is different. Like, you have a yearning, you have a desire, you know that he's calling you to something, but there's fear around it because you don't know how it's all going to come together, but you press in and the answer is go.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
So how has that looked in developing the business for you?
Yeah. So definitely everything you said about doing it scared and doing it stupid are two very different things, right? And so I will say that doing it scared though, and it may sound crazy, but it's been exciting in the development because everything that I'm doing scared, it's like also telling myself, Tiffany, you have nothing to lose, right? By doing this scared. And that also with each thing that comes from doing it scared, I'm all about celebrating a small win, right? So like you were just saying, not waiting till you lose all the weight to go on that vacation or take your photo shoot. Yeah. Every small win that comes with success in my business, and then just how that success translates into my personal life. Yeah. You know, we're all about, if you all know my family, we celebrate.
Listen, wait, hold on. Let me back up. Because you bought your son he got the iPad. What did he do? I remember, I was like, what?
Oh yeah. So we celebrate all the wins. So my son is 5 and he just finished his kindergarten year of school. And every day his teacher would give them a smiley face if they had a good day. A smiley face for good days, nothing for a not so great day. Yeah. Well, he got a smiley face stamp every day for the first, how many weeks did they go to school before Christmas break?
Okay.
Yeah, for that time. And so my husband said, we have to do something for him. He got a smiley face every day. That's huge. And so we did something for him. Sure enough, he got an iPad, which that was a win for all of us because he stopped using our iPad. But yes, we're all about celebrating.
Yeah, totally not mom shaming. But I was like, man, I need, like, my kids would love to live with you because I'm like, you supposed to have a smiley face.
Yes.
But yeah. I love that. I love everything that you're saying. And there, it is an eerie confidence. And one thing that I had to get this in my head when I was going to be a realtor, you know, I had all these voices like, what if I fail? What if this? What if that? Then it dawned on me one day, like, if I fail at real estate, what's the worst thing that can happen? Right. And I literally was like, what's the worst thing that can happen? The worst thing that can happen is be broke. Well, been broke before. Okay. That doesn't scare me. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, okay. I go back to teaching. Well, I'm teaching now. Like, it's not like someone was taking I wasn't getting fired from the profession. I was choosing to do something different. I was leaving on great terms. So a lot of times, and I've repeated that in my life, like, if I don't do this, or if I do this and it doesn't work out, what's the worst that can happen? And a lot of times the worst thing that can happen is that I will be back at the starting point and I'm here anyway. So why not try it?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And it's that same thing too. I think you said earlier, imposter syndrome, right? Yes. It's something that we see. And I think doing it scared looks different for everybody. Yep. And that's something I had to continuously remind myself was because I said, you know, I'm a flight attendant. I'm a flight attendant instructor. All these things I have going on. I love every single one of those so much that I wasn't in a place that I was ready to just let those go to pursue this dream. And so just knowing that for some, it does look like, because the things you were doing previously, right, there's such a roadblock to what it is that you want to pursue that you do have to let those go. Yeah. But if they can still work in what you're doing, then do it. Yeah, then do it.
Yeah. And just because somebody else, I love you said that, because just because, like, somebody will ask me all the time, like, do you think I could be a realtor and do X? And I'm honest with them. I'm like, look, I knew that I couldn't, right? I know some agents who have done it well and they've been able to merge. And I know some agents who have not done it so well. And I also know some agents who are full-time and don't do it well. But whether I say yes or no, it doesn't matter for what works for you. You know, what makes sense for you. And I love that, because I do think that a lot of times we can look and we can see, you know, like somebody asked me once too, like, well, how long did it take you to close your first deal? I was like, if I tell you that it took 6 months, 6 years, or 6 days, it does not matter for your process, right? So yes, doing it scared, we have to be able to understand that we're running our race, and to keep our eye, like we can look, well, you're in a race, you really don't want to look to the left or the right, but you can look to gain information, to glean, you know, what you can pick up what you can from people who've done what you're looking to do. But trying to compare and track our thing, like I hear working for Southwest is amazing. Most people like, you'd be crazy to leave that job, you know, if you can make it work. So I love that you're approaching it like that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about going into these hot mess spaces and making them beautiful. Tiffany came over at our house. So she was like, I want to gift you doing your pantry. And I'm like, honestly, no, because my pantry is, you pretty, you like me on Instagram. I don't want you to be coming to my house and judging me. And I imagine that you have a lot of people who would love to have somebody come in and clean for them or organize or whatever, but they're scared to share. Just having someone in their space is scary. So have you encountered that yet in your business, when people are like, I need your help and I'm hesitant?
Oh, yes. And that's one of the biggest things I always say is I'm a judgment-free zone. Yeah. And part of the reason I'm a judgment-free zone is because I've been a mess. Yeah. And that's part of what led me to this business. Is I understand the impact it has on living in stuff. Yeah. Because I did, my family did. And it's a lot of times it's either because of a time constraint that you just don't have the time to get into your stuff, declutter, reorganize, sort, purge, all of that. A lot of it's a time constraint. And I was blessed at the beginning of COVID because there were some blessings that did come out of that period.
EagleTalk came out of COVID.
Oh, yes. Huge one. Yes. And so during that time, I had quite a bit of time at home away from work. And so that's the time when I brought order to my house and just all the peace that I found from that. I thought, I would love to give this to so many other people. And I just understand that so many want it. They just don't have the time, or they're so overwhelmed with where they are.
Even get started.
Yeah. Where do I start? And so when I say I come from a judgment-free place, it's because I would have to be judging myself if I was judging somebody else's space, because I've been there.
And the other week you actually posted, like, because I commented, and you posted in your stories like a pantry, and I was like, "Ooh, they like me." You was like, "Girl, that was mine."
That was mine.
Yeah, mm-hmm. I love that. So explain to people what you do, because someone might be like a little confused. Like, do I have to like have a big old plush? Like, what are you organizing? What does that look like?
Yeah, so organizing, and I always say Spacelift is the name of my company. And I think when we met that first time, I was still trying to figure out the name. And Spacelift, and with that, the mission is to elevate your peace of mind, one organized home space at a time. And what that means is a lot of us, we start our day and we end our day at home, right? And we go out into our day, but if we start it in a place of overwhelm, of clutter, of even if it's something that's not huge, say it's a drawer in your kitchen, right? That you open every day because you open it to grab keys, or you open it to grab a pen, and it's your junk drawer. So it's full of things.
I got, look, side note, put in the chat, how many junk drawers you got? I have minimum one. I have minimum in this kitchen, minimum 5, but keep going. Tiffany hasn't done my drawers yet, but we come back.
We haven't gotten there yet. But so even if it's just something like that, and you open that drawer and it's just somewhere in your mind, you probably think, right, this is frustrating. This is such a mess. I need to clean this one day. Even though it's not something that makes you go sit in a corner and cry, it's still something that's mentally,
it adds to the muck. It adds to the muck in your mind.
Exactly. And so what I do is come into your home, and first we prioritize your spaces. So let's say you have 5 spaces that are just driving you crazy, right? We're going to prioritize those. Yeah. Because I want to first hit your hot spot. What's the spot that you are in
she
every day?
She was like, which one? I'm like, my pantry.
Yes.
Oh my God.
What's the one that you see every day? The one that gives you the most headache, heartache, because these can be painful things. And that's where we'll start. And from there, a lot of organization, I tell everyone, I think organizing is a learned skill. Everyone can do it. But the biggest things are, one is just starting from a fresh slate, right?
So taking all that stuff out.
So we take all the stuff out.
Look, and I'm not to interrupt you, but I think that because Tiffany came over and she did my pantry, and you know how even there have been several times I've gone to clean my closet, but I'm like, well, I'm gonna just, you even leave stuff there. Like, she pulled everything out, and it made it easy for me to be like, I don't need that. Take that away. You know what? When I come back, I just want it right. Like let's just make it right.
Start over. Yeah. So that's a big key, is taking everything out. And then that way you can take inventory of what you have.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times in pantries, it happened in my own personal home. I would go to the store buying stuff we already had because I couldn't see that we already had it because it was so deep in the pantry. Right. So we pull everything out. And then from there, we're going to sort things. And so sort like with like, essentially. And then after sorting like with like, that's when the edit piece happens. So for a pantry, for example, you know, expired things that, you know, they've just been pushed to the back. We, that happened in mine.
And like, you know, I know that sriracha cheese tuna looked good when you bought it, but since you didn't had it for 4 years, it's over.
Yes. So we're going to let that one go. And then a lot of times you may find things that even in your process, I found that so many of my clients have been a blessing to someone else because in a pantry, they've had food that it's not what they want anymore. It's still good. And I take that to food banks when I finish with the pantry. Same thing happens in closets. Good clothes, we're just out of that season for us personally. Those I've taken clothes to recycle centers, recycle as in they go back out into the community. For young ladies who going on job interviews, I've been able to donate some suits to them. Just wonderful thing. So in turn, you become a blessing to somebody else by releasing these things that are taking up space in your home, right? And your mind as well. And
it's hard to be happy in it. Like, I am fully a person. It's really hard for me to be happy in cluttered spaces. And like, I am a huge proponent that I used to say every working woman, but every woman, I don't care if you're a housewife, it's nothing like having somebody else come clean your house every now and again. And then now that you have come and helped us with our pantry, and we have some other spaces we're going to tackle, it's even inspired me to do some other stuff in my closet, right? Like I just feel more at peace. I feel more together, and it's such a gift. So husbands, I mean, if you are looking for a gift, friends, boyfriends, sister, whatever, you're looking for a gift for somebody, and not just for women. I think that gifting an organization thing to someone who really, and not to just kind of, you know, shame them, like, you really need to get your house together, it's nasty, but to really just be like, look, this, I want to help you with that. And it's been functional for us.
Yes.
Like the space you created, I'm like, hold on, put that back in the Lazy Susan, because we got a phone now.
I love it. And that's the big thing too, is because even that organization, it looks different for each person, and you want it to be functional for you, what's going to work for your home and what can be maintained by you and your family. And it's one of those things, especially if you have kids, it's so great to be able to start that and instill that in them early on. And a lot of times, you know, our kids, they want to help. They want to help put things away or take things out, but they don't know where anything goes. Right. And so when we create those boundaries, essentially, and that structure, it's just something that helps them. And it's one of those things where it takes some work in the beginning, but then it just becomes a foundational system that you can maintain and, you know, carry on and keep going.
No, I love it. I love it. Well, here, I'm gonna put you on the spot real quick. If you could dream the biggest dream for your business, what would that be?
The biggest dream for my business. Okay, I got it, because I've dreamed a couple of them. But the biggest dream for my business would be, right now I'm spacelifthome. So I'm doing home organization. I would love to get to a place of organizing in the corporate world as well. And of course, I would love to have a team of ladies, men, whoever loves and has a passion for organizing and enhancing the lives of others. And to a point where all of these big businesses that are coming to our area now, PGA, you know, a lot that's coming right here at our back door. I would love to be a part of like their relocation package.
Ooh,
that's a big dream for me.
Okay, look, so if you in the PGA, if you relocate these employees and for all of this other stuff that's coming to the far North Dallas area, what's your website? How can I get in contact with you?
Yes, that is www.homespacelift.com. So homespacelift.com. And then I also, Instagram is spacelifthome_.
Okay.
And yeah, all information is there.
All information is there. Now, that's the dream. But if you're not with the PGA and if you just live around the corner and you got stuff falling out everywhere and you don't know what, you bought sandwich bags, but you have no idea where they at. Before you go back to Costco and buy another jumbo pack, make sure that you holler at my girl, Tiffany.
Yes. Because I would love to help you.
Yes. Okay. And Tiff, do people call you Tiff?
They do. Yes.
They do. Okay. Because, it's funny. I had to catch myself because there are a few of y'all that get rose privileges. It's not a lot of folks that get rose privileges. So a couple people do, but I like to ask. But as we end, if there's somebody out there that's just like, you know what, I really want to do this, but it don't make sense. I've never seen it done before. I'm scared. What would you say to them?
I would say I was too. I really was too. And like I said before, you really have nothing to lose, right? If we're doing it scared, not doing it stupid, then there's nothing to lose in doing it that way. And just the impact that doing it scared, what that's had on my life. And I'll tell you real fast, just to back up real quick.
Go for it.
One thing that I did scared first off before I knew what doing scared was pursuing my real estate license, right? And I say that to say that sometimes doing it scared actually leads you to your passion.
Yeah.
And you think that what you're doing is what you're passionate about and it's your purpose. But in doing that, you really find your passion and purpose. And that's exactly what happened to me with real estate. And that really led me to this home organization journey and path. So,
what I learned, and I love that you segue to that, because what I have found in my life is when you do one scary thing and don't die, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Then it gives you the courage to do other scary things. And I feel the very same way. Like, me, first it was us moving to Texas. Then from moving to Texas, the courage to get real estate license. Now, after real estate, I actually love teaching agents. Then from that, Corey and I doing Eagle Talk, and, just having the confidence to do more things. But I often think about, like, what if you didn't take that first leap? And I also think about people that have changed my life, or like it could be a product that I love. I often think about my pastor and, we don't call her first lady, but my pastor and his wife who planted our church. Them planting the church, I wasn't in Texas when they planted the church, but them planting the church when I got here, didn't even know about them. I found community. I created a real relationship with Christ there. Some of my best friends have come from that body. And I think all the time, like, what if they didn't plant the church? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what if they didn't plant the church? So to your point, and Glenn has told us not to cry, and I ain't gonna cry, but I almost teared up just there. But you just never know who God is intending to bless through your gifts. And if we hold him tight, and if we're unwilling to let him fully use us, then we don't just rob ourselves, we rob the kingdom.
Absolutely.
So doing it scared it's for you, but I've learned that it's way bigger than you.
Oh,
and me.
Yes. And that's what feels good. And that's what fulfills, I feel, that, in your heart, what you're going for.
Well, thank you, girl, for coming here.
Thank you.
And I can't wait till you do some more of my spaces, till you lift some more of the Lewis household.
Yes.
Well, Y'all, we are so excited. We love and thank you for just tuning into the podcast. Love your comments. Just love you being a part of the Facebook page. And we ask only one thing, y'all. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel, share the page. If you have been blessed by this episode or any other episode that we have done with Eagle Talk, all we ask is that you share us. There are definitely other people that need to hear the messages that our amazing guests like Tiffany have shared. And next week, my baby daddy gonna be back. He just took a little bit of time off, but we will be back just to really talk to you about something that's really near and dear to our hearts. So can't wait to see you then. Bye, y'all.
Bye.